What's up, Dragon Nation? I'm Rich with Dragon Nation Gaming. Welcome back to Space Engineers. Last world I had got kind of destroyed. I don't know what happened. The whole thing just disappeared. I tried to get into the world. I got kicked out, tried to get back in. Couldn't find the world at all, so I went into the save files and everything. Still could not find it. I went through all the files in my computer. Could not find the world that we were in. I have no idea what happened. So it looks like, yep, we're going to be starting over again. Oh, I do this so much. The reason my worlds keep getting corrupted is because some of the mods that I use and all the stuff that I do build kind of messes with it a little bit. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and start over. We're going to take our time, make sure we go through everything in more detail. That way I don't leave anything out. Which is really difficult for someone who's been playing this game for a really long time, because it's kind of hard to remember what people don't know, because it's been so long since I've been in that place. But we'll see how we do. Let's get it started. Alright, so in every world that you start in, you're going to start with basic tools. You're going to start with, let's go in the inventory. You're going to start with a grinder, a hand drill, and a welder. Also, you will either start with a spawn ship, a drop pod, or one of the already built bases in easy mode. Today what we're starting with is a space pod in space. At some point I do want to move off to the Earth-like moon. Yep, there it is. I want to move off to the moon, which is pretty damn far away. Oh, looks like we got a mayday or something. But yeah, this is where I spawned. Not exactly, I think I spawned... Where did I spawn? I think I spawned somewhere over there a little bit, but right close to this asteroid. Which is the first thing you want to do. You want to go ahead and try to find yourself an asteroid to get started with. With the respawn ship, you want to go ahead and check it and see what tools you have available. We already learned our tools is the welder, grinder, and hand drill. But now we need to check the ship and see what we actually have. Now, right here we have the O2 generator. Looks like we have a hydrogen engine, which I doubt I'll ever use. So I might go ahead and grind that down to get resources. We have an oxygen tank. Looks like down here we have a cargo container, and inside we have a survival kit. That's about it. That's what we're starting with. At the moment, I have absolutely no mods on the server, but as we go through the game and add mods or use mods, we'll go ahead and try to go into detail about what they do. I tried it before, it didn't work out so well, but we'll see how it goes. Also, this thing has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10 thrusters it looks like. Which is not a whole lot, but it is just a starter ship. It's your respawn ship that you spawn in when you first come into the game. But yeah, it's not going to give us a whole lot of resources, but it is going to get us started. Now, there's a couple of different ways to do this. One, you could either leave your ship here and just go out to try to find resources, or you could break that ship down and build yourself a base. I'm kind of leaning towards building a base, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be some resources we're going to need. Also, what I need to do is I need to go into the ship, go into the inventory, and see what else we have available. So here we have an oxygen bottle and a hydrogen bottle. We'll go ahead and take those. Looks like we have almost 1,000 ice. Yeah, 1,000 kilograms of ice, and oh, we got a automatic rifle, some ammo, and a GPS. What? Let's go ahead. Where's my flight seat? It's in front. Yeah, I got a PDA. I need to see what the hell that's all about. So if we grab the PDA and we hit the right mouse button on it. You used to visit this place at a regular basis during my engineering days, and they always had some good deals available. Go see if they are still at it. So yeah, this gives us a GPS coordinate for something. No idea, we'll have to find out later on, but let's go ahead and create that GPS. And I think that's it. That's all we have in the ship at the moment. So right now the only resource that we have available is stone, because all we have is a survival kit. Now if we also go into the control panel of the survival kit and we go to production, these components right here are all we're going to be able to use, which is not going to be very helpful when we get into solar panels and stuff like that. Now we will be able to build a solar panel, but there is a mod that I do want to get at some point. So that might actually be the first mod. It's the I forget which one it is. We'll go over it when I do actually add it. First things first though, what we need to do is we need to go ahead and mine some stone. Now there's one really good trick to mining in space if you don't have a gravity generator. Now this is something that not a whole lot of people go over anymore. Actually, I haven't heard anybody go over it at all in a long time. But when you dig into a resource, say we had a resource node right here on the outside of the asteroid, you don't want to dig straight into the node, because the problem you'll have is the resource will just fly away. The little chunks that break off from the drill, they'll just start floating away and you have to go catch them. So what you want to do is you actually want to go to the side of the resource. Say the resource ends here. You want to come over to the side and try to dig behind it using the right mouse button. Well, let's go ahead and turn on our lights with L. Alright, now that I got a straight tunnel in, what I need to do is I need to go off to the right. Now the whole point of this is to keep stuff from flying around, and once I get deep enough I'll go ahead and show you. Alright, that should be good enough. Actually, it's way too deep. I kind of overdid it a little bit, but we should be fine. Alright, now that we've dug behind the resource, we would actually face towards it and go ahead and start digging. But since all we can do right now is stone, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and create a really big cavern right here in this tunnel that we made. Now, let me go ahead and show you what happens. Alright, that should be good enough. As you can see, the stone does fly away, but it doesn't fly away into space. It stays right in the tunnel. When it hits the walls, it bounces back, keeping it in a general area. And eventually the ore will stop as well, making it a whole lot easier to grab it. Now what you want to do while you're mining is you want to hold down the F key, so that way you pick up the resources as you're drilling. You're not going to pick up all of it, but you will pick up a bit. So what I want to do is I want to go in, I want to fill up on my inventory. If you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the toolbar, and right above that it'll show me how full my inventory is. Let's go ahead and grab a little bit of stone so you can see it. Alright, so once I grab the stone, you'll see that bar will go up. Now when that bar is full, I need to take it back to, I need to go back to the ship and unload what I have, because I won't be able to get any more. So what I'm going to do to start out, I'm going to go ahead and grab about 10 loads, take it back to the ship and get it processed. Now processing it is very simple. Let's just go ahead and take the load that we got right now. If we take this load to the survival kit, which is right in here, if I can get into the inventory. Alright, let's try this. We'll put all that stone in. Now what we need to do is we need to process that stone. So we'll go to production and we'll hit ingots, or the gravel, let's say 1,000 times. But if you hold down the control button and left click, it'll tell it to make 10. If you hold down shift and left click, it'll do 100. If you hold down control shift and left click, that will make 1,000. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get at least 10 full loads. that should be enough to get us started. So let me go ahead and grab that. It's going to take me quite some time, and then we'll be right back. All right, I think this is my last load. I think that's 10. Actually, I think I got a lot more than 10, but it doesn't matter as long as we have more than we actually need. So, oh, it looks like it's not processing. Hold on. Yeah, it's already did over 1,000. So let's go ahead and do another 1,000. So what we're going to be able to start out with is from the gravel, we got ourselves, well, from the stone, we got gravel, iron, nickel, and silicon. Now that's going to help us get a starter base, but we won't be able to do anything else because with the survival kit, we can only get certain components. So if we go to production, the components that we can get is, well, the gravel, computers, construction components, data pad, which we're not going to worry about, display, girders, interior plate, motor, solar cell, and steel plate. Now if you look right over here in the middle, it'll tell you what ingots you need in order to craft that component. So for computers we need iron and silicon, construction we need iron, display we need iron and silicon, girders we need iron, interior plates we need iron, motors we need iron and nickel, solar cells we need nickel and silicon. Wow, it doesn't need iron? I guess not. And for steel plates we also need iron. So as you can see, we are going to need a ton of iron. So the sooner I can find an asteroid with iron, the better. But what we need to do right now is we need to go ahead and get some of those started. So what I'm going to do, there's actually a few different options that we have. One, we can either keep the base on the ship and just kind of upgrade the ship with the actual refinery and assembler to help us get the other components that we're going to be needing to build other things. Or we could build ourselves a base. Now, this is the time when you actually set yourself a goal. Kind of a long-term goal. What are your plans? What are you going to be doing? My short-term goal is to move on to the moon and build a base down there. So I need a ship that can get me down there. This ship is not powerful enough to land us on the moon with a full inventory of items. Also, it's probably to go ahead and start a new ship so that way you can actually design it yourself and know exactly what's on it. So I won't be able to keep this ship right here, so we're going to go ahead and grind it down and get rid of it, use the components to build something else. So for temporary purposes, we're going to go ahead and build ourselves a small little station. So what we need to do in order to get that is we need to craft up all the stuff that we can at the moment. So if we go into the production, we'll go ahead and make a couple of hundred, let's try 300 steel plate. Let's try 300 computers, 300 construction components. Displays probably only need 100 for right now. We will need more later on. Girders will need about 100. Interior plates, let's go ahead and make 300. Motors will make 300. Solar cells, we're going to be using those for power, but we are going to need a mod. So let's go ahead and make 300 of those as well. And actually, let's go with 1,000 steel plates. So we need 700 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now what we could do, since we have two different stacks, is we could go ahead and drag it over. There we go. Now we just need to wait for that stuff to craft up. But we could go ahead and get started now. So if we grab all the steel plates that we have, that should be enough to get us started. So first thing we need to do, we need to start a platform. Easiest and best way to do that, at some point we will be setting up solar panels, and it will be set up on an automated system, rotors that actually point towards the sun and follow the sun. That's the mod that I'm going to be adding here in a minute. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and take my first block. We're going to go ahead and hit P. Just check off whatever color you want. Of course, you could change the hue and everything. And then what type of armor you want. So we're going to go with the clean armor. We're going to go with regular gray and hit OK. Now what I want to do is I want to line this up to the sun as best I can. Also, maybe towards the asteroid as well. So let's turn that way. I think that might be perfect. So now what we need to do is find a place to put this that will give us enough room for everything. Looks like... Is that another hole? Oh no, it's just weird looking. I think right here will actually, let's go over here. This right here will probably be best. So what we're going to start out with is just a nice little 3x2 platform. Now if we grab our welder, which I have in the wrong spot, and we go up to the block, it will show us how many steel plates we need to weld that armor block up. So this being a light armor piece, it's only going to take 25 steel plates. So we'll go ahead and get those welded up real quick. Alright, so now we need to figure out how we're going to set this up. So what we're going to be starting out with, if we go into G, it looks like they're already down on my toolbar. But if you go to all blocks, go up here to the search, and we're going to go with basic. Just type in basic so you can find the basic refinery and basic assembler. I already have them down on my toolbar, so we should just be able to place them. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that the access points for these do match up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a cargo container in the middle. It will act as kind of a hub to connect things to. So we'll go ahead and make sure that on the basic refinery, one of the access points is pointing towards the middle. Now if you look at the refinery, it has one access point on the front, one on the back. Oop, went too far. One on the back. Is there one on the top? Nope, just the two. Alright then. So we'll go ahead and place it there. And with the basic assembler, we're going to point the access point towards center, if I can find it. The basic basic assembler only has one access point. There we go. And then once we're done with all that, we'll be building a cargo container right here. Now for everything else that I can build, we're going to be transferring stuff over from the ship to that little platform, which I might be able to do now, but we want to make sure that we have power first. So with everything processing, hopefully we have enough to build those things. It looks like I just had enough steel plates as well. Alright, so all we're doing right now is processing steel plates. What we need to do is go into production and go ahead and put the steel plates to the back and allow other stuff to process. So we'll process, I don't know, 100 of each resource for right now. That should give us a little bit of time to get everything else processed. But as you can see, it takes a while. You have to wait on it. Alright, so the one thing is that's going to take a really, really long time is motors. So let's see if I can't just grab what we got so far. So we'll grab all the computers, construction components, displays. We don't need that many. Probably 30 for right now. Interior plates, we just need 100. Same as when we're producing. If you hold down the control button, it'll give you 10 motors. If you hold down shift, it'll give you 100 steel plates. And then control shift is 1,000. Let's also go ahead and grab all the motors that we got so far. I'm hoping that will be enough to get these two finished. Alright, so basic assembler. And basic refinery. Oop, more steel plate. So you will have to make several trips, because especially when you're building large grids, large grid ship or station. So don't try to overwhelm yourself and make sure you grab the right amount to get everything finished. It's a lot faster and a lot less stressful if you just carry what you can. And there we go. Now we got those two. What I want to do at the moment is we want to go ahead and transfer everything else over that we're going to be building with. That means the cargo container, so we could have the hub to connect everything, and the O2 generator. With the O2 generator, we want to be careful because we're not going to have oxygen until we get power on that station if we take this one and transfer it over. So it might be beneficial to go ahead and figure out the power before we switch over the O2 generator, which I do believe I'm going to put right here. That should work. Alright, so next thing we need to figure out is power at some point, which I don't think we'll go into in this episode. We'll have to wait until next episode. But let's go to the cargo container, go ahead and grab out this PDA. We can go ahead and get this. Okay, I need grinder. Get the cargo container over there right now. So we just want to make sure it's empty so nothing falls. And you want to be careful when you're grinding so you don't grind something else that you don't mean to. Because there's some things like the batteries, whenever you grind the power cells, they will turn into scrap. So you just want to be careful you don't grind down the wrong thing. Alright, now that we got that, what we're going to do is grab the cargo container. That's going to be a small cargo container. And put it right in between the two. Now, once we get to the point where we can go ahead and move. There we go. There's the cargo container. To where we do have power and we can move the O2 generator, we'll also move the survival kit. So all we'll have to do is grind this entire ship down. It's going to take a little bit of work, a little bit of time, but it shouldn't be too bad. So yeah, what I need to do now is we need to go ahead and make sure that we get all those resources. I need to make sure that we have room for the solar panels. Now, when you're thinking about solar panels, you want to make sure that you have plenty of room. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back a little bit. Now, the solar panels that you have to build are going to be huge, because we have to build so many of them. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you have enough power for everything that you are processing. So I want to make sure that this is about 10 high. I didn't count. I should have. But let's try one more. Alright, I think that should give us enough room for the solar panels that we're going to have. Maybe. We'll have to see. So, 1, 2... Yeah, I think that should be good enough. Alright, so if we go into the control panel of the station, we can actually see how much power we're actually going to need. So, the basic assembler, max required input is 280 kilowatts. That's when it's actually running and it's producing components. Required input is 1 kilowatt. That is when the assembler is at idle. Now if we go to the basic refinery, you'll see that's a little bit more. It's 330 kilowatts. Required input is 1 kilowatt when it's idle. When it's processing, it's 330. Now these right here are so that we can add modules to it, upgrade modules, which will raise these numbers, but I don't use them a whole lot. Sometimes I use them, sometimes I don't. But we will be going into upgrade modules at some point. I mean, might as well. I mean, it's something in the game. But yeah, that's what we're going to need for power, and I forget what a solar panel gives. What we could do real quick is we could go ahead and place a solar panel here just temporarily. We'll go down to the control panel and see if it will tell us how much power this is actually going to give us. Probably not. Yeah, it needs to be completed. But the sun is over there, so if we actually build this thing right now, we should have... Yeah, we should have full sun. Alright, so one thing you need to see right here is that we cannot produce glass. But we can get it from the glass that we already have on the ship. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and grind down. Well, I'm hoping just one of these will be enough. We'll see. because we do need bulletproof glass for the solar panel. So we'll go ahead and warm that up. Alright, now we should be able to see how much power it actually does get. We'll keep an eye on these lights right here. They should all be green. If they're all green, that means we're getting full power, because it is pointed directly at the sun. So it looks like we're good. Let's see what kind of power we get from the solar panel. Max output right now is 156 kilowatts. Current output is only 2 kilowatts because we're only draining power to idle the refinery and the assembly. Remember, the basic assembler is required input at idle is 1 kilowatt. So is the refinery, so it's only going to take 2 kilowatts right now. But if we have those running and processing, let's actually see what we're going to need. So one solar cell is 155 kilowatts. So it looks like for the basic assembler, we still have 50, still have a lot. We have 125 kilowatts left. So yeah, it looks like just for the assembler we're going to need 2. And for the refinery it looks like we're going to need 3. So altogether 5. But then we also have the O2 generator, which we're going to need power for. So let's go into the O2 generator and see what kind of power that draws. Max required input is 500 kilowatts, which means, Jesus, that's just so much fun. But around 3, maybe 4. So all together 9, 10. Also, what we need to keep an eye on is, for the time being, we're gonna go ahead and have batteries on this station, so that way we could store some of the power for when it's dark. Now, what we need to do is we need to charge those batteries while the facility will be processing stuff, which means we need enough solar panels to go ahead and charge those as well, which are going to draw some power. But we'll have to figure that out in the next episode. So what I'd like to do is I would like to go 16 solar panels. Is it? No, I think it's actually more than that. I think it's 32. Yeah, I think 32 solar panels is what I'm going to need to build in order to process this facility. But we will be building bigger as well. We will upgrade to a regular refinery and a regular assembler, which requires a whole lot more power. But yeah, next episode what we'll be doing is we'll go ahead and go over our first mod that we're going to be adding, which is Advanced Rotor Solar, I think it's called. But yeah, I'll show you guys all that. And then we'll also go ahead and finish off this facility, start probably working on an actual ship. We'll go ahead and get the processing facility for the ship running. I already have a design in mind. I already know what I'm going to be building. But we'll see you in the next episode. Until then, make sure to like and subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.